This is me in my little private villa with my very own pool, beautiful room, red hot sun. And I was actually just thinking, am I a strong independent woman or am I an absolute loser being here on my own? And then I realised, why would I want the memory of this to be tainted with the fact that I was here with a man who will then be my ex, who probably cheated on me and hurt me, when it can forever now just be a memory of me being in a remote island on my own, at peace, just enjoying time on my own by a pool, reading books. Like, it all just makes sense.
She's making a confession that she is unable to find a man who treats her well, or that she's difficult to get along with. Yes, she should go by herself. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to see divorced women instantly regrets. Let's start right away.
I wish I would have known before I got my second divorce, or not known, but like believed, is that you can heal inside of a relationship. I think so many times we're stuck on this, I have to go find myself, I have to get divorced so I can heal, I'll break up, I have to be alone, whatever it may be, and it's just like simply not true. Not saying that it's wrong. I obviously took the route of I'm gonna leave so I can heal. However, like, what if I had believed that like I could heal? I could have healed inside that relationship, that I didn't have to go and be single and be alone. I don't know. And so if you're a woman who is within a relationship, you don't really want to get divorced, but you think the only way to heal is to get divorced, I just want to encourage you that it's not the only way. You can absolutely heal and grow.
That's because society has programmed you to think that you have to leave that situation. It's just so toxic for you that you have to get out of there. They don't teach you to problem solve. And that's what you're now realizing, which good for you. You're now realizing, using critical thought, maybe I didn't have to do that, which is a part of growth as a human. Just for the women coming after her, realize that you don't have to go out there and take your clothes off to feel free and be a free spirit. There's other ways that you can feel that way, like painting, skiing, snowboarding, kayaking, going for a run, working out in the gym, getting together with your ladies for a brunch or something like that. Hey, let's go on, I don't know, a little outing to the spa or to some trip or something like that. Whatever makes you happy without doing the wrong thing. There are a plethora of activities that you and your ladies can engage in without being toxic, without leaving a good and healthy relationship. There's just so many of them.
And have the life that you want inside that marriage too. If that's what you guys both want, you know? Or you can leave and heal on your own and have the best life by yourself. I support both. Do you, babes?
You learned the hard way after 2 divorces that you have to deal with your own problems. You messed up the lives of 2 men to figure out something that most men have known for a very long time. In order for you to let a guy into your life, you expect all of his past problems to be dealt with. When someone is really stupid, they hit you in the face like this. Please understand that what you said would not make any sense to me, even if I were high on intergalactic space rum. Why does a woman feel like getting a divorce is the only way to deal with her problems, even though she doesn't want one? That only adds more stuff to the cart, really. This is something that married people have known for hundreds of years. Everyone carries around some kind of baggage, but there is a difference between asking the person you swore to be with forever for mental support and expecting them to handle it all for you. And to be honest, it's pretty amazing that it took you 2 divorces to realize this important truth.
Excuse me, I'm a grown woman. Why are you asking me this question? Maybe down the line you can ask me like how many people I slept with. Like, listen, don't get it twisted. I can count it on one hand. It's not about what the number is that I don't want to share. It's that question shouldn't be leaving your lips. Do you know what I mean? Like, grow up. Because what's your mum's body count? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it for a minute. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to have that conversation, so don't start it with me. But those are the 2 things that will get a man literally blocked.
She said that guys shouldn't care about a woman's body count because it shows if she can keep a long-term relationship. In fact, a man should be worried about how many bodies she has.
Also, why would I be asking my mom what her body count is if I'm not marrying my mom? It's anything to get the conversation off of you. It's anything to allow you to get away from what you should have been doing in the first place. And that's answering the question of your qualifications that you bring to this relationship after I have answered what I would be bringing to the relationship. So please, after we've gotten off of my mom and you've decided that it was okay to disrespect somebody that's not even in the conversation, it's just us two, I still need you to answer the question. What is it? What's the number?
If you have to ask her after you've built a relationship and trust with her before she feels comfortable telling you, she sets herself up to get hurt because she would have known she could have avoided getting dumped because she had a high body count if she had been willing to tell the guy right away when she met him.
I'm a single mother to 4 kids, and I had all 4 children are with the same person. I was married to their father for 10 years. And one of the things that did keep me stuck was thinking, gosh, if I leave him, who's going to want me with 4 kids? Like, no one's going to want to date me. I'm going to have a hard time, blah, blah, blah. First of all, loving myself was the main focus when I left, because I think that's the only way you're going to make any progress is learning how to like care for yourself the way you've cared for and poured into other people. But also, I have not had any problem dating people. There is a whole group of people that don't give a fuck you have kids. They totally are like, yeah, that's your kids. I'm down to date you and just have a good time with you. And they kind of see you as separate and it's not a big deal. And for me especially, I'm not looking for a step parent for my kids. They have a father. Liar, liar, liar. However he is, that's their father. And I'm not looking for anybody to like another person to co-parent with.
The main reason you didn't want to leave your husband was that you thought having 4 kids would make no one want to date you. Even worse, you don't deserve that because your main worry during the divorce was whether you would be able to find a guy. When you left your ex and cut off all contact with your kids, your main goal was to learn how to love yourself. Do you really think that your kids will be okay without you bothering them? Sure. What's the harm? It was empty and had a can of green beans in it. Have you paid attention to when she...
So this lady, she was, I don't know if you remember one of the videos that I covered. She was ranting about how terrible of a man he was because he went to be with another lady, I guess. So they got divorced and he went and found another lady. And she was upset because the lady was younger, I think was one of the issues. And she was also upset that that woman was taking care of her child. Essentially, it sounded like she didn't want to be replaced. Oh man, he has problems and da-da-da and this and that. Right, but he's not your problem anymore. So why are you on TikTok trying to trash this man? Why don't you go sit down and live your life? That's number 1. Number 2, dating is different from being in a relationship. And even being in a relationship is different from marriage because there's no commitment really there. So really what you want to do is be out in the street is what it sounds like. And I'm not going to care about your kid. I'm not going to be co-parenting your kid because we're both playing out in the street. We're both going to be out here doing our thing. So it's going to be like a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then we're going to go our separate ways. Hey, you want to have coffee together? Sure. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We go back to work and doing whatever we're doing in the first place. So, I mean, we're not talking about an actual commitment here. Come on, guys.
talks about her kids, it's never the first person. Her whole speech was about how easy it is for her to hit a lot of guys and not get in trouble, but she never talks about her kids as if they were my kids. It seems like there's only a small problem. She doesn't want a parent because she relies on her ex-husband to raise her kids and pay her alimony while she goes out and parties all the time, and she doesn't want another man to be their parent.
I'm sorry, but if I'm seeing a guy or if I'm in a relationship, I genuinely want good morning, beautiful texts 365 days of the calendar year. And I'm sorry, but I don't care if that's asking for too much or if I'm reaching for the stars. That stuff makes me so happy. And it's so important. It might be a tiny, trivial detail, but honestly, the difference a simple good morning text makes is, in my opinion, quite astronomical. I just wish sometimes men did it more, because I think it gets so easily forgotten. And it's a shame, really, because sometimes the consistency of good morning texts ultimately is what sets you apart from the rest.
People say she wants good morning texts, but she probably gets bored with them after a while because they are too nice. People might think that Chad is too nice, even if he does this too often. I think you should say good morning. If you will text good morning, be careful not to be too nice or too rude at the same time. Say you were playing if she says you're being rude, and then do it again in the morning. It will get easier for her in the end. If not, don't send any good morning texts at all.
Does that make sense for you as far as like why divorce is inherently more risky for men?
I just feel like you're saying because women tend to be the person who initiates a divorce, correct?
Yes.
That's why it's riskier for men, but why do women tend to end divorces? With successful men that have money, they cheat.
She said it earlier.
They do all these things that women don't want to
She
put
said
up
it earlier.
with.
It's
So
a feeling.
why-
Feelings
yeah.
change from day to day.
Yeah,
time
so
to
I
time.
could have been in love with the person at the moment, but if that person is no longer treating me well just because we're married, I have to say no.
That's the
Because
point.
he can't be a good husband.
So as a
That's all
man,
I'm-
if I marry you and
Yeah.
you decide, you know what, he's not the guy I thought he was anymore, I'm leaving. You take half my stuff, and maybe.
So is there no risk
So?
without reward?
Oh, so what?
You married me, right?
No. So once again, this is why
You
men
wanted to marry me.
don't wanna
You
get married.
thought you loved me enough that it would be worth it to you to marry me and
so
take
real
the
quick,
risk.
hold on, stop the show. You just basically admitted it with your own words why guys don't get married.
Why do most divorces start with the woman? Okay, let me count the ways. For starts, modern women have been brainwashed to believe that if they are not madly in love with their spouse every single day, then the marriage has failed, and they need to move on to be happy. If you think it's the husband's job to make you happy, then the marriage has failed if you have even one bad day. That's okay when there's a breakup. What the hell does that do? Women today want to think that marriage is the best way to show love and happiness, but it's not. The wife stubbed her toe and blamed her husband because she had given him a look 2 weeks ago to tell him to move the table. Finally, the marriage ended. Basically, he stands to lose at least half of his money, but let's say that she is happy and in love every single day until the day she dies, which is impossible.